Hello, hello, hello. This is Rene Manfre with What's Your Passion? And I have Chase Larreal with me. And we're going to be tonight's one of our first podcasts, episode 1, we're going to call it. And tonight's really just kind of an opportunity where we can introduce ourselves, share with you what our vision is, our mission, what we do as a service for individuals. My background, again, has really just been different businesses through my career, coaching, training different individuals from insurance, real estate, have several businesses throughout the years. So I started What's Your Passion about 3 years ago, right when COVID happened. And that was the time where I really started seeing, taking my career from a different path of just individual local businesses and really getting online so I can work with people across the different states and possible countries. And over the course of the years, I went through a little phase to where I just kind of really figured out I needed to have more of a team for some of the things that I was doing. So over the course of the last few years, just really putting together what I feel right now is the best time in 2024, where we have a magnificent team of individuals really bringing a lot to the table. So this is really just an opportunity where I can introduce you to Chase. Chase is my grandson, 24 years old, and together we're really just like a duo. So I'm very excited on this opportunity where we can learn more about Chase and what he does and how he basically fits this puzzle and what we're doing with What's Your Passion. So our passion is really people always ask, what is my passion? My passion is basically your passion. I work with so many different businesses, so many different individuals that sometimes just need to be moved through the process of either how to start their business, how to grow their business, whether it comes from sales, whether it comes from to-do lists on a daily basis, when it comes down to different resources that I've connected with throughout the years. I don't tell anyone that I have all the answers. I've just been able to really put together resources of individuals in different areas and different industries, so we can pretty much help any individual through the process. And right now, What's Your Passion, we're going to be basically building different parts to the company over the course of the years. And it's a promotion company at this point, teaching people the basics of online video, doing podcasts, understanding the basic little principles of social media so they can get louder, so they can get bigger. And that's really what I'm seeing in today's world, is that so many people are just small. They're not thinking big because they don't understand the technology. They don't understand the processes and things of that nature. So to kind of lead into this, Chase, tell me a little about you and where you come from, what you're thinking about, where we are, and what you bring to the table.
All right. Well, I actually started music. A lot of my skills and a lot of my talents come from music. When I did hip hop and did a lot of sound engineering, I did that for about 5 years, and that taught me a lot about discipline and being consistent with a certain skill, and always improving yourself through music, because a lot of music has to do with improvement, and you're always trying to get better. And you're always trying to get better every single song. But I kind of went through some things with my relationship. So that was about 2 months ago. So that kind of changed my mind on a lot of things about what I wanted to be and who I wanted to be. And I really was thinking a lot about where I was in life, because I wasn't really happy with who I was. So I started leading towards business, and I found this course, The Real World, that I joined. It's about $50 a month, and they teach you about marketing, copywriting, business. They teach you about anything with digital marketing. They teach you how to grow your social media account on X, on Instagram, on YouTube. They teach you about all those things, and that opened my mind. Like, learning sales opened my mind to the possibilities of helping other businesses, because that's where the money's at. So I started leaning in towards that, and that's when I figured out, I could help Rene with his business, because trying to find my first client was a little difficult, and I have all these skills, and I have all this knowledge in my brain, and I have all these talents, and I'm capable of so much, but like, trying to get someone to work with you at first is difficult. But luckily I have Rene and his company and what he has so far, and that's been able to really kickstart me and get me moving in the right direction, especially with my grandma and her business. And I've been able to help her out. So that's really been able to help me build a portfolio on my YouTube channel. I've been able to teach people more about how my mind works teach them what I know as far as confidence and discipline and, staying consistent and not giving up and doing your best every single day because God's watching. And, that's the route I'm on right now. And that's where I want to keep going because I want the nice things in life that people have. Everybody sees nice supercars and they're just like, oh, they think it's whatever. But to me, when I see like that kind of stuff, it builds a fire. It's like, well, I want those nice things. So I'm going to do whatever it takes to get it. And I want to teach everybody else in this world that it's possible to get it as long as you really want it. And that's really my message that I'm going to try to bring towards people.
So over the course of the last few months, we've been going through this process, and we've kind of started out in the journey of really just doing some videos. So both of us kind of started to where he started doing some videos, I started doing some videos, and we're basically collaborating. And it was really just interesting where we've gone in the last 30 to 60 days. It's now grown into where we have several individuals that we're working with they're starting to do it. But when I started seeing Chase really just every day getting better and just doing the principle. So being a coach and being in sales and training people for years has always been that if you just do the basic simple things, and I go back all the way through my career of everything, from health club training individuals, if they did the actions that we told them to, they would get the results. Now, at the end, some people are looking for the results quickly, but if you can do one thing every single day and see a result from it, and it makes you confident, then you're getting confident. And that's what I saw with Chase. So Chase, I know what happened was you were starting to really kind of get into some videos every day. You would do your script, you would go in the backyard, you would do your video, and every day you were building. So when you go to Chase Lareal's YouTube channel, you'll see he has approximately 10, 15 videos now.
I've got about 15 videos.
Okay.
I really think that pushing your ideas out there and pushing out the knowledge to others, because a lot of people are confused and they're stuck in life and they don't know things. So I think if you know a lot of things and you can bring value to the table to people, then you shouldn't hold that in. You shouldn't bottle that in. It's like I was telling Rene the other day. It's like you fill a water balloon up with water, and that water can't escape unless you pop it, and that's your brain. So if you have all this knowledge in your brain and you're not releasing it, then nobody's gonna find value in you.
And what you've seen from your transformation, so you went through the process. We went to Miami. He won a contest because he's been. His music has always been fantastic. The challenge is that in the music industry, trying to get that music out into the cloud, but then also you still have to find individuals who are in that industry. So he won a contest with a group called Coast to Coast. We went to Miami. He was competing against 300 individuals across the country. And what I saw was just a tough industry. And he didn't have a following, right? So that's really what we started realizing in that little conversation that weekend, that one, Miami just shows you a bigger picture. It shows you a bigger lifestyle. We started really kind of talking during that weekend, and we started really kind of collaborating. But a lot of things happened during that weekend, just kind of changed when we got back home. And so when you came back home from the things you were listening to, which I didn't know you were listening to, Andrew Tate and things of that nature, I didn't know that you were in that process, but we started realizing that you were asking me some questions, which you've never asked me before. You were asking me if you can help me with my marketing on my lawn care business. And then his Mimi has a permanent cosmetic business, microbrows. And so he said if he can just help us with that. And I said, well, yeah, because we've never really found anyone that really did it the correct way. So what happened from that time? You asked us and went with it.
Well, there's a whole psychology behind marketing. So like I saw Rene's landscaping business, right? And I saw that on his Facebook, it wasn't as marketable as it could have been. Like the business is very marketable and has potential, but it wasn't being marketed the right way. It's the same with my grandma's business. She was posting a lot, but there's a psychology behind it. There's a certain way that you have to say things. There's a certain way that you have to build intrigue. There's a certain way that you have to when people read it, you either have to hit a pain, like especially with fitness. If you're trying to promote fitness, if they're overweight, you have to hit them with that. Like, are you overweight? And then you have to amplify it, why they're overweight. And then you give them a solution on how they can fix it. And that's the whole point of marketing. You hit them with a pain and a desire, and then you amplify that pain or desire, and you make them really interested and really curious. Okay, what is it? What is it that he really is like trying to sell to me? What is it that he's trying to give me that's going to help me? Because what I'm reading seems like it's going to help, and that's how you catch them. So that's what you were missing, and that's what she was missing, and that's what was so. That's really what your passion can bring. It can bring those skill sets that other people, because you don't have to do the work. We'll do the work for you.
Over the course of the last few weeks, we've had a tremendous amount of collaboration with individuals on podcasts. We've had collaboration in person. We have some individuals locally that they started seeing our channels with our social media. My Facebook is kind of revived. I had a bunch of videos on there in the course of the last few years, but because I didn't understand, and that's, again, I was doing some videos, but I didn't understand algorithms. I didn't understand with subtitles and the subject lines. So between myself and Chase and looking at different researching, which majority of people don't have the time to do this. They don't have the time to research. Now I can't say they don't have the time. They just don't make the time. So we all have time. It's just, do we choose to learn and go through the process of learning something new, which is sometimes hard. So I'm not going to say anything is easy. When you're taking a test, for myself, when I was 27 years old, I wanted to get the insurance test for a reason, because I met someone who shared with me that if I got the license, I can have a career opportunity to make a very good income. So at 27, I basically was looking for a new career. I was in a health club business. I managed labor, staffing companies before. So I've always been in some late shape, form, sales or management, hard blue collar. Okay. I've done blue collar, offshore rigs, things of that nature. And what I tell everyone is that if you can be a good employee and you can show up, it's amazing how your life can change because of your attitude, right? And so sometimes transformation comes with learning these different skills because you have a reason why you're learning it. So I've always had a reason to learn it so I can get to the next step. And that's where what your passion comes in. That's what I feel, what I'm finding out with individuals who are in the young ages, that we're not really giving them a reason for why they're learning, because they don't really understand what they need to learn to get to the next step, whether it's something financially, so they can get a car, so they can start buying a house and things of that nature. So is that something what you and I talked about this, with most of the kids in your age frame, what is happening with their social media? Are they seeing people like me and leadership, or how to build a business, or are they seeing?
I want to go back. I want to go back to what you were saying about a lot of our younger generation. They need a reason, right? They need a reason, and I feel like a lot of the younger generation, they have a bigger opportunity to set themselves up in the future, to have nice things, to go wherever they want in the world, to have nice cars, because they have more opportunity. They don't have a life. Their life's not there yet. They're still building their life. So it's a lot easier for our generation to build something that's going to give us a financially free life than it would for a 40 or 50-year-old man who's already married, has kids, who is still not there. It's a lot more difficult because their life's already made. Our life, our life, my generation, their life is not made yet. We still have a chance to build it. So it's a lot more on their side, but it's not impossible for people of older age to achieve it. But I feel like the drive is there more for younger generation, especially for teenagers, 16, 17, 18-year-olds coming out of high school. I mean, they know what they are wanting. They're wanting the nice cars. They're wanting to travel the world. There's these teenagers are growing up now knowing the reason for what they want to do. And that has a lot to do with influence. People that are influencing in this world, the good influence. Like all the good influence in the world that they have now, these young kids, they're growing up and they're already knowing the reason for what they're doing. They know what they want. So they're going after it.
So let me ask you this. So over the course of the last few weeks, you've been going to more networking events with me. You've gotten really good at just speaking in general in front of a group. You've gotten good on. So when you look at over the transformation, do you feel like that you're feeling more confident? What have you learned over the course of the last, I would say the last 30 days that's really kind of changed your life and gave you this huge outlook that anything is possible? and you can do anything. So because Chase L'Oreal, he can do anything, and literally I give him different assignments, whether it's doing a YouTube channel, different websites, and he's just very fast. But what do you see that's helping over the last few weeks?
You can't overthink anything. Like you use the tools that are there. Some of the tools I use, the main tools I use for outsourcing any type of information, if I ever feel stuck, I look at YouTube, I look at Google, I go on ChatGPT, I'll use Twitter, which is now X. I'll get some inspiration. I'll go on Instagram. I might watch some Andrew Tate motivation, like anything that can kickstart me and keep my juice flowing. Like you got to keep it flowing. Like you can't get in a stuck position, because when you get in a stuck position, then you start doubting, and then you get insecure about what you're doing. You think it's not going to work. You think what you're doing is everything you're doing is going to fail. But in reality, that's God testing you. Like God's not going to make it easy. Like I say, he shows you the path and you have to work towards it. He's going to show you the way, but it's still up to you to do the work. And if you don't do the work, then it's not going to happen. It doesn't matter if you doubt yourself. It doesn't matter how you feel. How you feel should not affect what kind of work you get done. Like if I'm sad, I'm still going to do the same amount of work I would do if I was happy. If I'm not motivated, I'm still going to do the same amount of work that I would do if I was motivated, because of the discipline. And it's the same with working out. It's the same with making money. It's the same with a relationship. It's the same with anything in life. And a lot of that has to do, in my life, what I've learned has a lot to do with sales, because sales has a lot to do with everything. Like right now what I'm doing is I'm selling you what I'm talking about by just the knowledge that I have.
Interesting. So when it comes down, like when we kind of go back with some of that, so sales is something that's not taught in schools. Sales is underestimated, in my opinion. My sales has always been just really making friends. So if you walk into a room, you're not looking at how much can I talk. You're looking at how many friends can I make. And when I look at individuals like Chase, that he didn't grow up in that total environment, and I didn't really bring him around to someone, because I was always busy. I'll be honest with you. I've been busy for the last few years with my insurance business, things of that nature. And I wanted to kind of bring him, but at the same time, I didn't know if he was ready or not. But I feel now when I bring him, I think he's seen a whole nother world. And I think there's so many individuals that are in his age frame that are not being exposed to the things of leadership, discipline, different strategies on a daily basis. If they just do these different things, just like working out, if you do it, if you eat right, and I think we talked about it before, the abs start in the kitchen. So it's these little principles of even life that a lot of people just don't get. And not just young adults, it's also the adults, that they're floundering around. They're not really passionate about what they're doing. They're working. Some individuals who do have good businesses, they're doing well, or they have a very good skill, but they don't understand the marketing strategy. And the marketing strategy is what I'm finding is what we're really getting into, that people need to see how social media can change their world just by expressing and sharing their information. Like Chase said earlier, the information we have is right here. But if you're not around people, no one really understands who you are, what you do. And even if you build beautiful websites, if the website is not being moved in the channels, you're not getting exposed. People aren't finding it. And that's where I think YouTube is what I've seen over the course of the years, individuals exploding across the country, because once they do like this podcast is done one time. So this podcast will never die. It's going to be on the internet forever. And once it gets into these algorithms, it just takes a whole life of its own. And that's what we're finding. And that's where we're really passionate about helping individuals walk through this path. If they can do certain things, then they can do it. If they can't, that's where we are trying to create that little bridge to get them more confidence so they can go to the next level. Is that what you're seeing, Chase? Is that you're seeing based off the conversations we're having with people? Are you seeing that transformation?
Well, I see everybody needs help with something. Everybody needs a team. Everybody has a roadblock that they're trying to get over. So I really feel like that's where What's Your Passion can come in, and the people that are in What's Your Passion can help people with, especially the mindset part. because I'm a driven individual, and I can influence people to do things and tell them why they need to do it. You know what I mean? I don't know. I mean, if maybe you're good driving a Toyota. I mean, that's not me. I don't know. I don't want to drive a Toyota. I want to drive a supercar. But that's just me. I mean, maybe not everybody's wanting that. Maybe people just want the normal life.
Right.
But you can always have better. So why not get better? You know,
Yeah.
you have the whole world, and you want to stay in one spot. That's just not me. I don't know. I want to push my message out to people that want more in life. If you don't want more in life, then it's not for you. It's just not going to work because you're not driven enough. You're not going to have the motivation within yourself to do it. You're going to always need a fix, and there's no fix. There's no quick way out. There's no magic pill. You have to do the work. And that's what people are so scared of. You cannot be scared.
And this brings us to where, when I look at all of the things and in my history of business, the challenges is you can be in a vehicle. And let's take real estate for an example. Well, if you're in real estate industry, like right now, we're going through a huge challenge right now because of interest rates, the economy. So properties aren't moving as much. Well, this happened back in the early 2000s when I had a lot of properties and I was closed-minded from being diversified at that time because I thought I had everything at that point. Then I learned, hey, Hurricane Katrina happened. All happened in one night and everything went underwater. Then I had to recreate myself, reinvent myself. Then I had to learn other skills to do something else to create another income stream. Then the real estate came back. And then, so I kind of go through this and I see everyone getting trapped into, don't ever stop learning. And that's what your passion is all about, is that we want to make sure that this is a company that's basically bringing people through that. And entrepreneurs like ourselves, from young to old, women, men, it doesn't matter, that we're trying to build this umbrella that really has so much resources and influences that together we can achieve. We could grow so much faster. And it's not so much being a millionaire. It's not, if I can get people making whatever they need to live their life and they're not miserable. There's so many people that are just not happy because they're not fulfilling their purpose or their passion, whatever it is with their careers, whatever they're in. You have a lot of individuals who do make a very good income and very, very good lifestyle. They're still unhappy because they're not really doing anything else with it that's serving a purpose or passion. And that's where I feel with everything we're doing is really just exciting. And that's where the podcasts are coming in with different speakers. We have a whole lineup this year. I'm scheduling out right now with different individuals. You're going to see Chase more and more on his own podcast. So pay attention to Chase LaReal. Pay attention to mine, all of our channels, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, things of that nature. But in a nutshell, when you look at 2024 for yourself, Chase, what are you seeing right now that's the transformation you're going? Where do you see yourself at the end of 2024? From a career, can you visualize yourself? Are you putting that as a goal, saying that this is what I'm going to look like, feel like, be doing? What are some of the things?
I think about the future as, obviously I want to be more improved than I am now, but it's hard to think about the future to an extent, because if you think about the future too much, you don't really think about the present, so I don't try to think about the future too much. I try to focus on the present. I try to focus on what's happening right now, and I feel like a lot of people should do that. If you get stuck on what the future could hold, you get bottled up into your brain too much, and that's really where you start getting overwhelmed. And you don't want to get overwhelmed because it's a long process. It's a long road, and you got to live in the present. You got to take it day by day. You can't think about the past. You can't think about the future. It's such a long road, and there's such a long way to go. That's the best way you could do it, is to think about the present. That's really the best way you could do it. I do think about the future. The future is nice to think about. Obviously you want to think about your future, but there's a time and a place to think about that. And right now a lot of people, we have to put in the work.
Right.
So you gotta think about the present. And I think we should mention our websites and all of that as well, so that way people know where to find us and where they can go to find the information that we're giving.
So, this is one of our first episodes. Rene Manfre, what's your passion? If you go to wypusa.com, you'll learn more about the site, coaching site, and everything else. You're going to see Chase LaReal on all of his YouTube channels and his channels. We're getting in a process where we're going to be putting together some additional sites that's going to combine a lot of the things into one, to where we can put the media and some of the education and things of that nature that we're doing, our services and how we're serving individuals, some testimonies of clients that we're already working with and we've already worked with in the past few months. I've been working with clients for years in different arenas, not so much the social media side, but really just from the business side and things of that nature. So I'm just excited. I'm looking forward to the 2024 and the relationships we're building and the information just becoming better each day. And I'm every day, you just have to do every day, one step at a time, one action at a time, one success, one step, one next. Is that right, Chase?
It doesn't matter what your desires are. I mean, everyone's going to have a different desire, but whatever your desire is in life, it can be better. I mean, every day you can get better. It doesn't matter what your desire is. It doesn't matter what your goal is. If you're a doctor, if you're a dentist, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a truck driver, like, your life can get better. Your life can improve. It doesn't matter what you do. There's always something you can do to improve your life. And that's really what we want to address in what's your passion as well. It's something I'm going to address to a lot of people, that it doesn't matter what your desires are. It doesn't matter if this person has a higher desire than you. You can still improve your life just the same as this person. You know, everyone's going to have a different want, right? So whatever your want is, improve on it. That's the most important thing, is that you're improving in your eyes and in God's eyes, because those are the two most important things that you need to improve for. You need to improve for you, and you need to improve for God.
All right, well, guys, I'm gonna end it on that one. I think that was perfect ending. I do appreciate y'all. I look forward to hearing more. If you can subscribe to our channels, if you can support us in any which way, ring the bell. I know these are all things that's new to me to kind of mention as we're doing these videos and podcasts and things. But, basically just, we look forward to giving you more value and more information on a daily basis. God bless. Thank you, Rene. This is Rene Manfre with Your Passion, and Chase LaReal.
Thank you, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.